y'all. So today I want to talk about something near and dear to my heart, and that is brokers are better. What? What does that even mean? Well, stay tuned because we're getting started right now and you'll find out all about it. Hey, welcome back, y'all. My name is Debbie Dobbins and I'm your host for this episode of Your Wichita Falls. And on this channel, we talk about all things Wichita Falls, from real estate to, anything and everything in between. And today I want to talk about why brokers are better. What does that even mean, brokers? Well, you've heard of the term broker, and it's used with real estate, and it's used with insurance. It's also used with financing for mortgage loans for your home. I'm a broker. Yay! I've been a broker for a really long time. I've also worked for banks. I've also worked for credit unions. I've also worked for bankers, meaning mortgage bankers. And by far,
brokers are better.
And actually, they've done a new little study that shows that brokers save consumers thousands of dollars more on transactions than anybody else, including big banks, credit unions, and everything in between. So the very first thing that I tell anybody and everybody, if you're a first-time home buyer or a multi-time home buyer, that it is so important. Step number one is to get pre-qualified, because it's a game changer for you as a home buyer. And besides that, we've finally gotten to a place in our world where sellers won't even entertain an offer from a home buyer, a potential home buyer, unless they have this thing called a pre-qualification letter, or in the alternative, if you're paying cash, evidence that you have the funds. Because sellers are not really interested in tying up their property or taking it off the market if they don't trust that you can actually be a buyer. So what's so important? Step number one is to get pre-qualified. And if you're planning to buy a home and you haven't heard that, back up. Step number one is to get pre-qualified. Why would you want to be pre-qualified with a broker as opposed to, your local bank or your local credit union? Why? Brokers statistically, you can see this that they save consumers $9,000 on average more than what your bank or your credit union does, and $10,000 for minorities, which we all believe we should be increasing our ability to help those people who are less fortunate than we are. So the fact of the matter is, it's so important that you get pre-qualified, but more importantly, that you know where you're getting pre-qualified from, because mortgage brokers have more accessibility than your local bank. Have you ever heard that term, banker's hours? Well, that came from bankers working certain hours and not beyond that scope. I don't know about you, but my life doesn't revolve around banker hours. My life revolves around no structure of hours, because I have clients calling me or texting me at midnight, which is perfectly fine if I've already given you permission to do that. So therefore, if you've got a banker and you have a question, or you're trying to get your loan business processed in a time when the bankers are not available, it's incumbent upon you to know that there are people out there, these crazy brokers, that work all the time. So time and availability is one thing, but also speed is another thing. It's interesting because now that the market has slowed down, I've always been closing loans, even in this crazy market, in 21 days or less, because brokers have the ability to go at their own speed. Do you know that when you use your own bank or your credit union, they're fantastic and you want to support them and you feel like you have a banking relationship? Well, guess what? That doesn't really matter, because all loans are sold on what we call the secondary market. So your local providers don't have any say-so in whether or not you get approved over somebody else, by virtue of the fact that these loans get sold on what's called the secondary market to Fannie, Freddie, FHA, and VA. So those entities have their own programs which your bank and credit union follow. So to tell you the truth, there's no difference between them and anybody else as far as your loan approval, even if you are a great customer, I can assure you. But also those entities, and God bless them, we all need them and we all love them, and I have a great relationship with my credit union and my bank, absolutely. But when it comes to getting a loan for a mortgage, I don't go there. Why? Because I can govern the speed at which I'm going to get this thing through. And that's the other great thing about brokers, is that they can monitor the speed. They're only limited by the appraiser, which now appraisals are getting done overnight, the surveyor, which those people are now being less busy as than they were in the past, and by the inspection process. So if you can get all of that, and oh, by the way, one more, title. And I've got a great title company that does title commitments in about 2.5 days. So you can actually close a loan, and I have done this recently because the market has shifted so dramatically, in 7 days, because the federal government won't allow you to close a loan in less than 7 days. It's a federal law since 2008. I could close them sooner. As a matter of fact, I had one a couple of weeks ago that was ready to close in 6 days with an appraisal and a survey and a title commitment. But I couldn't because Uncle Sam said, no way, Jose, you need a cooling off period. But if you are anxious, be the most attractive offer on a transaction and you're not cash, but you can close a loan in 7 to 10 days, that seller is going to be as motivated as anybody else to accept your offer. So in this market, where being attractive, because some of the houses that are available on the market, they're very limited, but the really fantastic ones that everybody wants, they're still having multiple offers on them. So do you want to be the most attractive loan offer? Yes. And how do you do that? Mortgage broker. I promise you, mortgage broker every single time. So what is important about this shifting market? And that is that getting this pre-qualification done before you even go look for a house, having it already in place, and knowing that you go out into that purchase world with this piece of paper that says, hi, I'm qualified for this much money, and then you shop within those parameters. And you have a great mortgage professional that is along for the ride with you, that works hand in hand with your real estate agent. So whether or not, in my case, I do both, so we work wonderfully together. But if you have a mortgage professional that's working with your realtor to know exactly what you're qualified for, how to present that offer, and because I have that background in being a real estate agent, it's so much easier to work with real estate agents so that they understand exactly how to make your offers. Because a lot of times, banks, credit unions, and even other mortgage professionals that aren't very experienced don't know how to tell your real estate agent exactly what your qualification is for and what you need. Maybe you need closing costs paid. Maybe you need a survey paid for. Maybe you need certain things that are really, really important to your transaction individually. So I can assure you that being pre-qualified is the number one thing you need to do, but more importantly, where you get that pre-qualification and where you get that financing is even more important. And I do caution you very, very clearly that online mortgage people, whether they're bankers or brokers or whatever, if they're not from your community, it's a really difficult challenge because you don't know them. And unfortunately, because of the last 2 years, a lot of people got into the industry of real estate, being realtors, and being mortgage professionals. So honestly, if you are searching or shopping for a lender of any kind, whether you're using your own bank or you're using a credit union, you're using a bank, or you're using a broker, please make sure that you're talking to somebody that's been doing it for over 10 years. Because in the last 10 years, there's been a lot of influx of people that they have the basics down. They don't know the intricacies and the ins and outs of how to manage your particular circumstances. Because everybody is individual, everybody is different, and everybody is so, so important, especially in our firm, because you are absolutely individual and unique in your own way. So if you'd like to know more about being pre-qualified or what makes a broker better, please schedule a Zoom meeting in the first comment link below, and I'll be happy to share all of that information with you, and we can find you on your way to becoming a happy homeowner. And as I always say, y'all come back now. You hear? Bye-bye.